What's going on, guys? It's Michael from GPRisers.com here again in the mining bunker, and in today's video we are going to be setting up our two holding rigs. And so holding rigs is what I'm going to refer to these two as. One will be for NVIDIA, one will be for AMD, and it's when we have just random cards that aren't quite enough to make a whole rig, these will be holding them and mining on them until we do have enough to make an entire rig. So for these two, we will be using the BioStar TB250-BTC boards. Both of these are used. You can actually see, I believe that's Kleenex holding that in. I did just notice we do not have the motherboard batteries. So again, I'm gonna have to order those. We are still waiting on the processors, which hopefully start trickling in this week. These are 6 PCIe boards, which fit in line with these cases. These hold 6. I don't anticipate to ever have 6 cards on these. For this one here, I am going to be using the generic TB250 boards that do have 12 PCIe slots available. Now these boards I did mention in other videos. I did buy a couple of these. They are just generic boards, no name brand, no anything like that. And they have 12 different USBs here. Now each USB here is equal to a 1X PCIe slot. So every riser that we do sell, it comes with the riser board itself with a full 16X slot here, a USB cable, and the 1X chip. Now these 1X chips, are connected to these 1X slots here and these 16X slots, like so. You plug it in there, have the USB connected, which then connects to your main 16X board. Now, what this board does is it makes it so that you do not actually need to utilize these 1X chips. Now, other companies that do sell risers or just generic risers on Amazon, they almost always come with a 4th cable, and that is a SATA adapter. We purposely do not include these SATA adapters. They're dangerous to use. You should not be powering any kind of riser with any kind of card with a SATA adapter. I know some people out there do that. However, especially when it comes to hardware that you guys invest in this stuff, just spend a couple extra bucks, get the right adapters that you need and not these SATA adapters. Make sure you either power a riser board using the 6X slot there or 6X slot there, and in some cases Molex. But of course, check your PCIe power draw before you run too many riser boards off of a Molex if you're using higher end cards like the 3080 Ti or the 3090. So these boards have actually been pretty good. I've been enjoying using them. It's hard to find boards for good prices right now, so yeah, that's why I got these generic ones. So while we do await our CPUs, I did want to get these started so that once the CPUs get here, they're ready to go. This one I am using the 12 card one on. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with this one yet. I'm 90% sure that this will be a 3070 Ti rig build. That's because I currently have 7 3070 Ti's available. I do believe I will be able to run that off of a single 1600 watt power supply. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to look into that. If anything, it will be 6 cards. These two, the AMD and NVIDIA, I think with the AMD, I feel like I'm gonna have some 6600s or 6600 XTs kind of floating around. So it kind of will be a lower end. I do believe I will go ahead, and right here is an 850 watt power supply. I will use that one for this. And I think for the NVIDIA one, I will go ahead and use the EVGA 1300 G2. That's just because right off of the bat, I know I am going to be throwing a 3080 Ti on here and a 3080 LHR. And quite possibly the 7th 3080 Ti that I have will go on here as well. And those pull a lot of watts, and just those 3 cards will be overbearing on an 850 watt power supply. I do believe I will be building another one of these fairly soon, and I'm going to be putting 3090s on that. Now we do have our 3090 build right here. There's 8 cards. I know I've talked about this a lot. It's hot. It needs to be moved to this frame and be more open. I'm sure it'd be fine on a frame like that. I might actually still do a frame like that. You can see the spacing here on the 3060 Ti's. A lot more room is available. I'm just worried about the heat spewing up and keeping the middle cards very compact and having more thermal throttling than what they already have. But we do have our fans on there that will be blowing out the heat, so it might be okay. I would ideally like to put it in a frame like this. So this one is a sample that we received, but we're still using it. These are the new frames that we have, and I'd ideally like to get all of the new builds put onto that. But when it comes down to heat and everything like that, I want these 3090s to be as cold as possible. As for the AMD build here, you can see we do have 5 RX 6600 XTs, which means we are almost going to be full on this one. So it's likely we will be making another, one of these, a 6600 XT rig build. But for the time being, it will be put on to our holding rig. So enough of that. I'm gonna go ahead and get these installed. You can kind of see, I don't know if you could see, yeah, I did mention the tissue paper there, but on the back end, it looks like we have some motherboard screws that are kind of stuck in there. There's another one right there. I'm going to have to hold it with pliers while unscrewing it from the other side, but that is just some of the joys of buying used mining parts. But with how expensive some of this hardware is right now, it's definitely worth it to check the third-party markets for things like motherboards and processors and RAM. But enough of all of that. I'm going to go ahead and get these motherboards put in. I decided I will do this one while talking to you guys today, but it's likely that I will continue to work on these tomorrow as I get these processors in. I do actually need some more CPU coolers. I didn't even check to see how much RAM I have left, but looks like 2 sticks. I do have more on the way, so I think we will be okay. That said, let me use these pliers, get this one put onto there, I'll get that one put onto there, and this third one put onto here. And we will be right back. All right, guys, we are back. I did get all 3 motherboards installed. We have the 1300 watt EVGA here. This will be the holding rig for NVIDIA cards. We have a B-stock EVGA 850 watt power supply for the AMD holding rig. And we also have a B-stock 1600 watt EVGA power supply for our future RTX 3070 Ti build. So obviously, majority of these cards in the AMD will be 6600s, 6600 XTs, about 70 watts per, so that will be more than enough. The 1300 watt will be more than enough for a 3080 Ti, 3080 LHR, stuff like that. And the 1600 watt will be great for maybe even 7 3070 Ti's, but we will have to figure that out after we get 6 of them put onto here. So having said that, I will go ahead and get these power supplies put out and onto each rig. I think I'm going to hold off on this 3070 Ti build for now while I get these 2 situated. I will likely tackle this tomorrow, but let me go ahead and get these out and put onto them. All right, guys, so I got the 850 watt in and I got the 1300 watt in. All the motherboards are hooked up with both the motherboard and the CPU power. These cases also do come with a switch on them that I always kind of did really like the idea that a case had that built in. I do wish that these 12 GPU frames did have something built in. Maybe that's coming. But anyways, we have everything ready to go. We do need the motherboard batteries. However, those will be in tomorrow, hopefully. This one does already have the motherboard battery in it. We have the 1600 watt here. I think honestly, while I was putting all this together, I think I'm just going to go ahead and get this one built tomorrow. I have the cards sitting here, just withering away, and I want to get them mining as soon as possible. So I will go ahead and do that. After this, I will use the other 1600 watt and get the 3090 rig going. For now, I am leaving these 2 holding rigs right in here with the rest of the farm. However, eventually these 2 will actually go behind these 2 doors right here in the bunker. And behind here is where the electricity panel is. It's not built out like this is, but I do have a additional 30 amp 240 volt breaker back there. And I have a 4th PDU that I will be using in the back. It kind of separates the heat out a little bit. I can have additional wiring right here. However, this is where I do want to have my studio. That back area is actually storage for random things, and so I might as well have additional rigs back there. However, any main rig I do want to keep in here. So I also thought, you know what, I know I've been mentioning this for a while, and I have the clips coming. I do think I am going to end up putting these 8 RTX 3090s into one of our 12 GPU frames. I feel like a lot of the heat issues are definitely towards the middle cards. It just gets too crammed. In this case, we will have 4, but they will be more spread out than the ones right here. And of course, the other 4 will be on top. So what you can actually do with 4 cards, and I didn't do it with this 3060 Ti LHR build because of the low wattage, is you can kind of space it out a little bit differently. It's probably easier if I show you on this rig. Well, not really, because this is 12, but if you had 4 right up here and 4 right up here, you can kind of space them out differently, so the air that shoots up is not shooting directly into the card above it. And I think I'm going to do something along the lines of that for this. But again, that is for another day. So yeah, I actually might keep them in here. These are low wattage ones. I actually do have a I can't really see it, but I do have a 120 volt outlet there, which actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I do need to get to that whenever I have the studio here, but that is for tomorrow. So yeah, not much today in the GPU Risers mining bunker, just getting these going. I wish I did have the processors because these would be up and running. So real quick, anyone watching this video, if you have any information on immersion cooling or an immersion rig build, I've seen a couple YouTubers do it. It is always something that I wanted to do. I think it is so cool cooling these cards with mineral oil. I want to eventually get a mineral oil build going. I will likely run it off the 120 over here just in the event of catastrophic failure. I don't want it hooked up to one of these PDUs that are connected to other rigs. I want to keep it in an isolated environment. But I've done some research on it. I keep reading into it. It seems difficult, but it can be very rewarding. I know it's an absolute mess, but I really, really want to do one. So if anyone has any tips or anything like that when it comes to immersion cooling, please drop a comment down below. I'm extremely interested in that. I do have this warehouse now. I am able to do some experimental stuff, and that is really what I'm gearing towards. Again, the huge shortage of 2021 for conference tables is here, and it's real, but I am working hard to get the studio set up over there where I can do more of in a professional setting, not just my hand talking to you guys. So yeah, I figured I need a fish tank. I'm going to figure out a way to mount the GPU risers to the side of the fish tank. I want to kind of have, all the cards lined up almost like this, and have, I'm guessing, a pump, pump in cold mineral oil past the card's heat sinks and out, or I don't even know. Maybe I won't even need the heat sinks. It could just have the die there. I'm guessing I will need the heat sinks, and then it could go out one end and it go, I guess, through a radiator where a big fan can cool it. But I really don't know. I just wanted to mention it to you guys now. It is, going to be in the future. I'm not sure which cards I will use. But yes, any information when it comes to immersion cooling, please share with us. But other than that, we are just hanging out today in the bunker, getting things ready. And we look forward to tomorrow. New things come in almost every day. And this is our daily vlog of the GPU Risers mining bunker. So if the CPUs don't come in tomorrow, I may transfer this out to one of these frames. Again, I'm not going to be using the old Veta frame. But yeah, that's going to be everything today, guys. I appreciate everyone that watches, everyone that comments, everyone that likes and subscribes. We absolutely love this community. I can't say it enough. But again, that's everything, guys. I hope everyone watching this has a great rest of your day, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.